Hi friends, Susan Campfield here with Suestampfield.com. Welcome to my stamp room. Come on in, we're going to create a card together. I hope that you're doing well. It's been a busy day here at Suestampfield Land. Today was Crafternoon Day. That's my special class I do once a month. So let me know in the comments if this is round 2 for you as well. I'm so glad that you're tuning in on this Saturday night on a Labor Day weekend here, holiday weekend here in the US. And thank you for making and sending handmade cards. You are absolutely making the world a kinder place, and I appreciate everything that you do. In this video, I hope you get a little creative inspiration so they want to make and send even more cards. So let's dive right in and see what we can come up with today. All right, I'm going to go to the desktop. Round 2 for me. Awesome. So good to see you guys tuning in. I'm going to go to the desktop here. There we go. So let's do a little recap. In case you were not able to join me for Crafternoon today, let me show you the newest Crafternoon Fun Fold. This is called the Triple Display Easel Card, and the triple part comes in. Let me show you that. So here is number 1, first part of the threefer, and then when they open the card, this is the second beautiful view, and then the third view is when they choose to display it. And they just use this little stopper here, which is, we call this an easel card, and it stands for display so they can show off your beautiful artwork. The tutorial for these cards is available. Let me show you the rest of the cards. So we have multiple versions of the floral charm. So this one, this is actually the same pattern. This is the A side, this is the B side of the pattern. So I also did a version where I did the B side up. So a little more monochromatic, maybe a little more masculine without the floral on there. Sometimes that works better. Now, the people who placed a qualifying order in my online store last month got a packet to make this card with me this afternoon, and so they got a variety of patterns. They might have gotten this pattern with Blackberry Bliss, and of course they could choose to flip the florals down or do this side up. And then this was the third pattern that some people got. So all are beautiful, just depends on your preference, right? A pretty peacock here, and of course the standing for display. And this is the pressed flowers. Mary reminded me I kept calling it the wrong name today. It's the pressed flowers embossing folder. I don't know why I can't keep that one straight in my brain, but anyway. So there we have the floral charm versions, but we did more than that. So I always do alternate cards. So the tutorial will have all of the details on these. Other cards, Stampin' Up! Is launching some new products this coming Wednesday on September 3rd. And one of my favorites is this gorgeous Autumn Toile suite of products. This one features the Amber Autumn bundle. That's where the sentiment comes from, and the super cool die on the inside. So let's take a peek at that. There is that die from Amber Autumn. We did some video last Saturday, I think, using that die. In the tutorial, I've got tips for you on how to get the best cut on this super detailed die. So that is view number 2, and then of course number 3 is stand for display. And then this one also has, because it's a Cajun Craze or darker card base, on the back, I've got space for you to write and a little bit more of that Autumn Toile Designer Series paper. I had so much fun with that Autumn Toile suite that I made a masculine card with that. So this one is using the Autumn Trees bundle. That's where the deer die is. And then again, I use the Gathering Leaves. This Gathering Leaves embossing folder is a new online exclusive that will be available next Wednesday. And then I also used on this one a bundle called Branching Out. It's a whole bunch of nesting label dies like this. Super cool. That one, actually a lot of these products might go out of stock quickly, so I would recommend shopping sooner rather than later. Now, if you're a demonstrator or if you're purchasing the starter kit here before September 3rd, you can put any of these new products in there, or if you're a demonstrator, you can pre-order these items. The inside of this one opens up like that. So there's one, And 2, this one I used a designer paper for the inside instead of a embossing folder. And then 3, we stand for display right here. So, and then on the back of this one, we have a little more of that autumn toile paper. This suite is awesome, and I love the versatility that you can do masculine cards with it or autumn cards. So many options with that suite of products. I was in an autumn mode, so we have another new suite and designer paper coming out that's called Gathering Together. So I also made this autumn themed card with that beautiful paper. I'm trying to tilt it so you can see the gold highlights in that paper. It's absolutely stunning. The okay, I gotta look. I gotta cheat. What's the name of that bundle? The bundle is called Gathering Moments. That's where the acorn comes from. And then I'll use some gold foil to help pick up on that gold in the paper. This is another pattern from that Gathering Together paper. And then this one looks like that's 1. And then 2, again, I used that Gathering Leaves embossing folder, which is actually part of this suite. And then I used a little more of the designer series paper on the inside because it was so pretty. I just couldn't resist. And then of course it stands for display. And then on the back side of this one, we have that same beautiful paper. And then another embossed sentiments expressing heartfelt gratitude. And then the last card, I actually made 2 versions of it. This suite of products is incredibly versatile. It's going to be out on September 3rd as well. It's called Peaceful Garden. And you can make both sympathy cards with it or Christmas cards. Actually even has sort of encouragement, like maybe graduation sentiments as well. So really, really versatile suite of products. And so I did both a sympathy version and a Christmas version. So the sympathy version, we've got the pretty embossing folder that comes with that suite on the inside. And I did it again here, but this direction. And then of course stands for display. And then on the back of the card, we have heartfelt prayers. And then one more, which is this one, the Christmas version, which is the same. I just changed up the designer series paper and the sentiment on the front, which turned it into Christmas. So there we go. Now, if you qualified and got a packet in the mail, let me know if you've made your card yet. I know some people like to watch the video from this afternoon first, but I hope you enjoyed that. You will be getting the tutorial. There is a tutorial available for purchase, but don't buy it. If you got the packet, you're getting that for free, and that will be going out to you. I'm making the beautiful email for you. It does take quite a bit of time because I like all the pretty pictures and give you guys extra information in that email. And so I was hoping to get it out tonight. I'm so tired, you guys. I don't think it's going to happen. So if it doesn't go out tonight, which it probably won't, it will go out tomorrow. So just be patient with me. Thank you so much. And that is our amazing triple display easel cards from this month's Crafternoon. Let me put those aside, and we're going to make a card tonight. Lisa watched Crafternoon, yay! All right, so we're gonna make a card tonight. What a surprise, right? Of course I'm gonna make a card, and we're actually gonna use that same paper that I used this afternoon, the floral charm paper. That paper is on sale. So the Crafternoon this month was quite late. Normally Crafternoon is the 3rd weekend. But because of my crazy busy schedule this month, I had to push it back to August 30th. So if you place an order in my online store, if you haven't ordered it in August, if you place an order today or tomorrow, then you'll get in on the September Crafternoon. And the September Crafternoon is going to be on the 20th. So to qualify for Crafternoon, you need to place a $50 order before tax and shipping. And I'm only allowed to take orders from the people in the United States. So sorry about that. And then you can get in on next month's Crafternoon. All right, let's go ahead and start our card here. So this one is, you made your card after the video. Yeah, I like to, sometimes it's nice to watch the video and then make it. Oh, Luana got the Blackberry Bliss version in her packet. Cool. So we have our card for tonight is going to be 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to go ahead and fold that in half. Fantastic. And I'm not even bothering. You can score this at 4 1/4. I'm being lazy tonight, you guys. I didn't even score it. But you know, when you're doing it that direction, you can get away with it. If you're going the other direction, you're against the grain, because paper comes from trees and it will cause problems. But this one is all set. So here's our card base, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. And the paper we're using is on sale because it's got an in color in it. And that is the things that have an in color in them are part of the sale. So yay for that. So next up, we're going to grab this little piece of cardstock. We're going to be sticking some designer series papers on this. I'm stalling because I can't find my, okay. This piece is 3 inches by 4 1/2, and we're going to be sticking some designer series paper on it. We are going to make a quilt tonight. We're going to make a quilt with paper. And raise your hand or let me know in the comments if you have a lot of designer series paper scraps at your house, because hello, I sure do. And if you do, this is a great card for using those up. So let's go ahead and bring in our paper. I got 2 choices here. Okay, so look at all those little pieces. Look at those little pieces. So for this card, we're going to be using some with the floral side up and some with the other side up, side A, side B. And which way do I want to go? This is one option. We could go with this, or we could do the Blackberry Bliss combo. We could go with that. Oh gosh, what am I in? What color mood am I in tonight? Do you guys want to weigh in and let me know your thoughts if you want Blackberry Bliss or Night of Navy? That's what this combo is. Kind of show you our patchwork quilt that we're making here out of paper scraps. Great way to use up those little scraps. And I can't decide. Let's see here. Laying them out. You guys are going to need to weigh in and help me out here. Here we go. Maybe I want you up right side up like that. Blackberry Bliss, Night of Navy, Blackberry Bliss. I'm seeing, I think, a few more for Blackberry Bliss. Now, when I give you the dimensions for these little pieces, I'm going to call them pattern A and pattern B, because for this version, I just so happen to be using a paper where it's both sides. trying to find my words there. They weren't coming. Where I'm using both. It's the same pattern. Just doesn't matter which side's up. But this card you might do with 2 different patterns. So that would impact. So it looks like I'm seeing more people voting for Blackberry Bliss. So let's go with that. All right, Navy, you've been booted out of the equation here. And we're going to go with this. So we've got this piece of cardstock. One more time, this piece is 3 inches by 4 1/2. And these pieces are all 1 inch by 1 1/2. So you need, oh, wait, did I want to do it this way? I think I want to do it the other way. So I'm going to do, I'm a flower person. So I'm going to do, you have 5 patterns of one and 4 patterns of the other. So I'm going to change it up here so that I get more flowers, because I need flowers in my life, you guys. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's boot this one out, and it's a total of 9 pieces. So for pattern A, or pattern 1, you need 4 pieces, and pattern 2, you need 5 pieces, all right? Again, my pieces just so happen to be the same pattern on either side, but you don't have to do that, okay? So let's go ahead and do a little quilt making without any sewing. Yay! All right, so I'm going to grab my first 1 inch by 1 1/2 inch piece, And I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of it, and I am going to stick it onto this piece of paper. And this paper is the same exact size as these, but somehow when you're butting these all up, you might find that you end up extending over the end a little bit. It's totally fine. It doesn't matter. So I'm just sticking on my quilt pieces. Now, I don't really know the history of quilts, but I'm going to make an assumption that quilts were popular with way back in the day with the homesteaders, because it was a way to use up little scraps of fabric inexpensively and make a warm blanket that was, you know, pretty critical, and they could use flour sacks and everything else. And, you know, it's the same way here. We're using up little scraps of paper. This paper is, we have it laying around and we want to use it, right? So I end up with a lot of little scraps. All right, got my pieces on there, so I'm just building this. And then we're going to quilt it. And we're going to quilt it the easier way. My kind of quilting, which is with an embossing folder. There we go. And then this one. I overlapped that one a little bit because I'm a little bit short on this one, but this one is not. It's all good. What color is this one? Okay, when you're using the same pattern, you gotta kind of pay attention to what goes up and what goes down there. So, all right, so there I've got my quilt ready to go. And now we're going to quilt it with the embossing machine here. All right, how did I get off with, I think you're the culprit right here. Hold on, and Susan's being a perfectionist again. You guys need to cure me of that bad habit of being a perfectionist, right? There's no mistakes in stamping, only embellishment opportunities, right? All right. Oh my goodness, I'm peeling it off. Almost got it. There we go. All right. Wow, Gretchen has made over 100 quilts. That is amazing. I tried once. I made one for my niece, I think, when she was born, my very first niece. And yeah, that was probably it. I tried to make one for myself, and I didn't have the... I'd rather make things for other people, I guess. And it's still in the attic somewhere, not done. And it will probably never get done. So, all right, I'm going to slide these ink pads out of my way, guys. Okay. Now, I can't just send it through the machine like that. I need some help here. So I'm going to grab platform number 1, plate number 3, I have my piece of paper here, and I'm going to use the eyelet embossing folder. This one, to me, looks like a quilt pattern, or a quilt stitch, I guess I should say. Any embossing folder will do, just whatever one strikes your fancy. You could do leaves or... you know, I've seen all sorts of shapes done on quilts, right? So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, Susan, stop! Did you guys notice I had the wrong sandwich? It's a 3D embossing folder. Hold the phone. Oh my goodness, I got the wrong parts and pieces. Bear with me one moment. Got it. All right, we're going to send through this plate number 4. And cranking it through. I agree, Bonnie. The original patchwork quilts were for utility, right? They were to keep you warm, although I think they also enjoyed, and they would get together for quilting bees and they would share scraps of fabric so that they could still have a pretty colorful quilt, right? With multiple colors, they would share different pieces. So Karen likes quilting, so it's very relaxing. So I've just quilted my square with my embossing folder. So this is now really adhered to this piece of cardstock, and it looks quilted. So let's put that aside, put our card. Oh, I'm going to need this again in a minute, and I am going to need it for die cutting. So I'm going to just set it down by my feet. Hope I don't trip over it. I really hope that was the right size cardstock. Is this the right one? Oh yeah. There we go. We're going to layer it on this piece. And this piece is, where are my dimensions? Found them. This piece is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm just going to stick it right on there. So let's grab that adhesive again. Oh my gosh, my desk is so dirty, you guys. There's like bits of adhesive on it. It happens all the time because I'm creating all the time. Here we go. All right, so there we have that. What a great way to use scraps, right? So got that on there. And now this is going to be popped up on here. And we're going to get some dimensionals out. If I have any left after this afternoon, I do. Here we go. So let's get one in each corner. And we'll put another one in the middle here. There we go. Oh yeah, I've heard that people make quilts out of t-shirts as a special remembrance of different events that they all have t-shirts from. So, all right, so now we're going to stick this on our card. I'm going to just take a second to make sure that I am centered. This, like I said, my desk is so dirty, it's making everything else dirty. Definitely need to clean my desk. All right, there we go. So I've got that piece stuck on, and then we're going to do a sentiment on this. I am going to see if I can track down the die cutting machine I just put on the floor. Oh wait, before I do that, I better stamp some words. Let's grab the Charming Day stamp set, and I'm going to take the words, "You made my day." Oops, one's missing. That's okay. That was the one we used this afternoon. You made my day. I can't believe how much I've used this bundle. This has probably been my most used bundle in a long time, and that paper as well. So I'm just going to make sure I'm straight. You know what? It doesn't matter if I'm straight. I'm going to cut it out with the die cutting machine. It doesn't matter. All right, I'm just grabbing a scrap that was laying over here. Size doesn't matter as long as it's big enough for your die. I'm going to grab the Blackberry Bliss ink pad and stamp my words here. Okay, you made my day. It's such a dark color, it probably looks like black. Yes, I stamped it crooked. No, I don't mind, because I'm going to die cut it out with the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm going to use the banners. So there are 5 circles, 5 squares, and 4 banners, and I'm going to use the smallest little banner here, right there, to cut that out. These are probably my most used dies as well. Let's bring this up. Put this right here. Okay. Die cutting, so let's get all set up for die cutting. Platform 1, thin die adapter number 2, and 2 cutting plates. All right, plate number 3 here, and then another on top. First, we're going to add in our cardstock and our die, and I'm going to take a minute to adhere, stick it down with a sticky note so that it doesn't shift. Loving all the quilt memories in the comments here. My grandmother made quilts with a group of ladies, and when we reached a certain age, we were all able to select a quilt. The one that I selected is pink and black, which it was in the 70s, and that was cool, and then it wasn't cool, and now it's probably back to being cool again. So yeah, these dies are a great investment, aren't they, Dana? The Stylish Shapes, super, super good. All right, there we have You Made My Day. Fixed my crooked issue by just making the die crooked, right? Gotta love Gotta love that instant fix. All right, I'm gonna set this down again on the floor so that I can trip over it later. Just kidding. And let's bring our card back in right here. And we're gonna stick our greeting right over here. I'm gonna kind of overlap it a little bit. I don't want to cover up my pretty quilt too much. So let's grab a couple of these. And I'm gonna stick them on the back of this. All right, so we've got a couple little mini dimensionals on the back there. You're gonna get your quilt out for the bed. It's starting to get to be, it's starting to think about being winter here eventually. Here in the United States. It was warmer in Minnesota today, but we are getting very close to having a little bit of fall weather. All right, and then I would like to add some embellishments here. These are the Charming Day embellishments. They come in Petal Pink, Berry Burst, and Night of Navy. Of those colors, the only color in my card is the Berry Burst, so I am going with that. So let's see how this looks. Add a little pink on here. Now you could also add pearls to this. Okay, I got two there, and let's got a medium and a small one, and then I'll do one more kind of big. Oh, that one doesn't even show because of the, let's put it over here. There, now it shows a little better. So we've got those done right there. And on the inside of this card, I am going to stamp a piece and I'm going to layer it on Blackberry Bliss. I'm realizing I did not prepare a Blackberry Bliss piece because I foolishly thought you guys were going to pick the other pattern. So let's cut one real quick. Blackberry Bliss, here it is. So this piece is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and we're going to cut a layer piece for that as soon as I find my paper trimmer. Found it! All right, we're going to cut this piece at 3 5/8. So 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Go. All right, fantastic. Now, before I stick this on my card, I want to do a little stamping on it. So let's bring that stamp set back in here, and let's pull out these big roses. Now, I could say thanks for being you on the inside. I'm actually going to just do the roses in one corner and kind of leave it blank. Grab a big block for my roses. This fits on block E. And what are the odds of me finding a scrap paper? Bingo, found it. I finally added the whole pack to my desk because I kept not being able to find any when I needed it. So, all right. Try to keep my desk somewhat clear, but there's certain things that you just need to have at hand, right? So we're going to open our Blackberry Bliss ink pad again, and we're going to ink up these beautiful flowers. And I'm just going to do a portion of them. Now these would be really pretty on the envelope as well. I'm just going to do a portion down in this bottom corner of the card. All right. And now I'm going to stick this on here. And let's see how we did, you guys. All right, we're going to pop this on here. Something's wrong. Susan cut something wrong. This is the wrong size. Dang it. Don't you love when you do those silly things? All right, how do I fix this without getting my paper trimmer all sticky? Actually, I think it's so close to the edge. All right. We can fix this. I know we can. I'm gonna put it on, I'm gonna make a slightly longer piece. I was cutting in a hurry before the video went live, and I miscut this. So it'll be a skosh longer than I had planned, but hey, nobody'll ever know. What happens on our Saturday night videos stays on our Saturday night videos. videos, right? All right, so we've got that corrected. That boo-boo is fixed, and let's stick this inside the card here. There we go. Pop it right in here on the inside of our card. Yay! Fantastic. There we go. So there is our easy quilt, our paper quilt that we just made. All right, this one embellishment is bugging me. It needed to be fixed. All right, there we go. And I do have a version in the paper pattern that you did not choose, which was this one right here. So let's see if I stamped inside this one. Oh, this one I did put the words, "Thanks for being you," with the navy on the inside. So maybe I should have on this one. There we go. That one I can just write a note, right? So there are two versions of that quilt card. I'm going to... It's no longer available. I'm not sure what Nancy is referring to. So, is that scrap what goes into the Stamparatus? The Stamparatus is discontinued, and I don't have one anymore. Not sure if I'm answering the right question here. So I'm going to pop these dimensions on the screen, and then we might make one more of these, but I'll go ahead and pop these on here. So which version do you like better? Do you like the Blackberry Bliss? Do you like the Night of Navy? I like them both, I think. I think doing one in the Pretty Peacock combo would also be really pretty. So many options with these. So if you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of these dimensions, that would be fantastic. And let's how are we doing on time? We got a little time. Can we be quick? Let's see. This one is not as planned out, so you're gonna have to help me design it. And let's go ahead and we're gonna do a new paper. All right, let's bring in all our bits and pieces here. Okay, that's for the inside. That's for the front. This is for our little quilt. Here's our card base, again, 5.5 by 8.5. Let's see how quickly we can make another card here. So this time we're going to use that beautiful Peaceful Garden suit. Again, with the Crafternoon today, I did two alternates with the, well, it's the same alternate, same card. I just did two versions, a sympathy version and a Christmas version with this gorgeous Peaceful Garden. So I thought, gosh, this would be a fun one to make a quilt with. So let's see if we can do a quilt card with this. I've got a bunch of scraps here because I wasn't sure which pattern to use. So I could do this, like a darker quilt, or bring all my little pieces in, or we could do these with the lighter colors. Let's try this one. I love blue and white. Okay, which one do I want to be more predominant? Maybe this? I don't know. The berries and leaves as the less predominant. I only say less predominant because one pattern you do 4 of and the other pattern you do 5. Now this one, it is different on both sides, so this is where that pattern 1 and pattern 2 come into play. Or did I call them A and B? Nope, pattern 1 and 2. Okay. So this goes here. We'd have one in the middle. And this right here. Someone said raise it up a little. Oh, was that about the dimensions? Oh, is that what you're asking about, the Stamparatus pad? Yes, the Stamparatus grid paper is what I use here for stamping. I understand now, Nancy. Sorry, I was confused. So you are correct. That is discontinued when the Stamparatus went away. I just like it because we have other grid paper, but this is smaller, and so it fits on my stamp desk better. I could cut down the other, but I'm too lazy. Okay, so we could do that. I'm liking that. I think that's really pretty. Let me just look at this. Turn over the white background ones. Turn over the white background ones. They are kind of a Lost Lagoon color on the other side. Now we could do, oh, let's try this. That Lost Lagoon color, would that go with this darker? Oh, that would. We could go with that where we flip this around. I'm just gonna do a little laying out here and just kind of decide what patterns might be nice together. That would be very contrasty. That's not a word, Susan. It would contrast a lot. Let me just flip those over and pop these in just to see what that would look like. That's kind of fun. All right, which are we gonna do? These two, this is option 1, or these two are option 2. Let me know in the comments, 1 or 2, which way we want to go there, and we will make it happen. This was another one I thought about, but I think they're too similar. I like a little bit more contrast. So 1 or 2, let me know in the comments. I don't know if it's black. I think it's, Janine, I think it's, oh, hang on. Let's see if I can find the package. Let me see here. Peaceful Garden. It is Secret Sea. So there's Misty Moonlight and Secret Sea in this paper. And then this is like lightened up Secret Sea, which is honestly Night of Navy kind of ish. So, so there's lots of blues in this one. So number 1 and number 2, the votes are rolling in. All right, while you guys are voting, I have a very big mess here that I need to get sorted. Now the back side of this one is also a Lost Lagoon color. It doesn't really have a pattern per se. I saw a bunch of 1s and then I got a bunch of 2s. Got people on Facebook voting as well. Looks like we're getting a few more 1s, I think. It's pretty even, but I think I see a few more 1s, so let's go with that option. So Leaves and Berries, and then that. This does actually remind me of kind of a gingham that you would maybe make a quilt out of, a cotton gingham. Let's put that aside and that aside. And there we go. There we go. Okay. I have more pieces than I need because that's a good idea because you're not sure always which one you want to be the predominant. I'm going to make the predominant one, and I say predominant just meaning there's 5 of these pieces versus 4 of the other. I'm going to do it with that. And okay. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. All right, 1 in the middle here. And then I need a couple of the leafy ones here. And 1 more leafy one here. I like the berries. I'm going to do the berries. Okay. And then here and here. All right. Oh, I like it. All right, guys, we're ready to do a little quilting. So let's get our sticky stuff out here. And we're going to stick them on. All right. And I will show the dimensions again at the end. These, again, these little pieces of paper are 1 by 1.5. And I'm sticking them on a piece that is, I have to look, I don't remember. That's pretty sad. That's 3 by 4.5. Which makes sense. These are 1 inch. And I'm going to do 3 of them. But yeah, whatever. Okay. I very carefully had those laid out and then I just swept them all off and now they're all out of order. Oh my goodness, Susan. Seriously. All right, sticking that on. I am piecing my quilt basically. This is the fastest quilt I will ever be making. Honestly, I probably won't ever be making a quilt, so I guess that is a fair statement to make. And then we'll stick this on here. But isn't it amazing what you can make with just little bits of paper? Very cool. Yes, I play with paper all day long, and I am totally fine with that. All right, so there we go. Mary's dropping the measurements in the live YouTube chat. Thank you so much, Mary. We appreciate you. Now where do I want to put this one? Yeah, I'll do that right there. Okay. And then some more berries over here. And let's stick these down. All right, so we have a total of, oopsie, pattern, let's see, pattern 1, which in this case is the leaves and berries right here. That we need 4 pieces that are 1 inch by 1.5. And then pattern 2, in this case, is the leaves and flowers, or little teeny tiny flowers on there. We need 5 pieces of, again, same size, 1 inch by 1.5. And I designed this card, so I did a event for my team members, along with some other demonstrators, the huge event called Creative Connections that we do. And for their projects, the one that I designed, they used this paper, and I ended up with a whole bunch of these little rectangles left over, and I'm like, what can I make with those? So that's where this quilt card came from. All right, let's bring in our quilting machine, right here, and we're going to emboss this. Now I'm just going to emboss it again with the Island embossing folder because that is what I have at the ready. However, there certainly would be other options of different folders that you could use. Oh, this one's a 3D, Sue. Put these away. Let's bring in that Eyelet embossing folder, and we're going to quilt our quote-unquote not fabric quilt here. Hang on. This guy, I've got gappage. What is going on here? Okay, that doesn't matter, Sue. Just do it. Just do it. Once it's quilted, it's not going to show. Okay, got that there. Let's bring this in, and we're going to send this through. Okay, we're quilting. We're quilting. We're quilting. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at our beautiful quilt here. Ooh, I like it. So pretty. So pretty. All right, let's bring in our layering piece here. This piece is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. I'm going to stick this directly on it as soon as I find my adhesive. Here it is. So I got a little sloppy. I'm hanging over on some of those. You can always go in and trim that off after the fact if you want it super even. I think that's pretty standard in quilting, actually, that you trim down your blocks and such. And I'm going to pop that right on here. I feel like it doesn't even show, so I'm not bothering. And then we're going to pop it up with dimensionals on our card here. So, oh, Susan, I've buried the dimensionals, you guys. I'm so good at that. Oh my goodness, seriously. I don't know where they went. So here's some other ones that are all that are left are the edges, but hey, that will totally work, right? Oops, that's ribbon scissors. Don't use those. So I've lost both my scissors. Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously. All right, found another pair of scissors. Found it. No, these are also ribbon ones. Oh my goodness. Chaos reigns here. All right, this is ridiculous. Weird. I just have those dimensionals, you guys. I have them right under. Oh, here they. Oh, you know what? These are minis. That'll work. I'm going to use minis. All right, fine. Just going to throw that. Oh, goodness. Now add a layer for a quilt border. Yeah, you totally could do that, Marcia. I love to layer. There we go. let's pop that in there and right here. Oh, goodness. All right, let's remove the backs of these mini dimensionals. Right here and right here. And then we're going to pop this right on here. And you could also do an embossed layer on the base of your card. That would be really pretty. We're doing the speed version here because this is card number 2. I'm not sure I got that on straight though, you guys. Seriously. Looking a little bit wonky to me. Hang on. Alright, sorry. Being a perfectionist again. Okay, so now what we need to decide is how to decorate that. Let me bring in that stamp set here. So it's called Peace on Earth is the name of the stamp set. And these are the gorgeous dies. Now I do happen to have these dies cut nesting labels, and they add a little decorative edge to the label. Pretty cool. We could use that. That's going to cover up that whole center part of our quilt though. We could use just the white one, which will cover up some but not as much. Or we could go back to the stylish shapes and do something a little bit smaller. Let's see. If cloth quilts were easy to make as card quilts, you would go for it. Yeah, I hear you. I'm right there with you on that one, Lisa. Okay, let's... I'm looking for the stylish shapes dies because I just had them. They're right here. I see them. Found them. Take a sip, everyone. Whew, that was a tough one. So I could put love on this quilt. Let's see. What size is the love? That's the love right there. So I could use this banner die. I could put it right in the middle, or I could stagger it here. Yeah, let's try this love. The word love, and see what that looks like. All right. Okay, it kind of depends. Use something smaller. Yeah, I think you guys are right on that. Let's grab a block here. And boy, this block is really dirty. All right, and we got the word love. Let's grab a scrap of whites, basic whites, many scraps. Oh my goodness, but I need it the right size. I think, will this fit? Let's see. Let's test this out. Oh yeah, that'll work. Okay. Misty Moonlight ink is the way we want to go here. Smaller label, don't cover up the beautiful quilt. Yes, I agree. All right, so there is our Misty Moonlight Love. And I'm going to set that aside. Close this up, and let's bring the die cutting machine in here. In fact, oh, hang on, I got an idea. I think I can fit the word sending in above my love and get both of them with the die. Right, whoa, uh-oh. Oh, here they are. How to lose the stamps. Most of these are on blocks still from me creating that card for Crafternoon. Let's go ahead and put the word sending right above that. Sending love. And quilts are good ways to send love, right? Warm and fuzzy thoughts, all of those things. All right. So I think some of you are talking about, there was a, my email provider had a glitch today, and they sent a blank email from me to all of my subscribers. And it looked like there was a new blog post, and that was not the case. I have reached out to them, and they are checking to see what happened, but I'm sorry about all the confusion there. I've gotten quite a few emails today about that, and that was a glitch and an error, so my apologies. There will be a blog post coming out for the new Crafternoon very soon. I'm shooting for tomorrow night. We'll see how we go. Got a busy Sunday on our schedule tomorrow, but we'll see how we go. Worst case, it will be on Labor Day. So let's pop this in here. And let's die cut our Sending Love. Yep, there was no attachment. I sent nothing. It just auto sent at 8 a.m. A blank email. So I apologize for that confusion. So just ignore. But the one that you'll get in the next day or so, that one you want to open. All right, let's go ahead and send this through. All right, where is this? There is this right here. Okay, let's crank this through. Okay, here it comes. I hope I got it. I used my sticky note. I'm using the Stylish Shapes dies again here so that we don't cover up too much of our quilt. And we're going to send someone a warm greeting here on our pretty quilt. Oh yeah, I like that. That looks nice. Now with these dies, there are also sprigs of leaves that you could add in if you wanted to. Lots of fun things you can do. I'm going to keep it just simple with the sentiment. So let me grab more dimensionals. Maybe I'll find my dimensionals some point, but I'll grab the minis because who knows where the heck I put them. Ah, gosh. All right. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Afternoon days are busy ones. All right, let's go ahead and put this on. And peel this off. One more here. Here we go. I'm going to pop that right there. Let's get it straight, Sue. Come on. All right, that looks straightish. Okay, there we go. And then these are called the Hues of Blue flowers. So we could add some of these. Let's bring in our other card we made. This one we added the blingy bits down below. This one we could actually add it right on the banner because the banner's a little bit bigger. Let's grab or take your pick tool. And what color do I want to do? Could do white. It's very subtle, maybe too subtle. Out here it would show up better. Kind of like that. There's some white. And we could do one more over here. How about a small one? It would go great in your bedroom. So there's the white flowers. What other options do we have? Well, we could do this Misty Moonlight color. Let me just grab one of those, see what that looks like. And that would blend in too much there, but we could do it on the right on the banner. What do you guys think? White or blue? Which do you like better? Let me know in the comments. White or blue? I am not sure. Debating here. Oh, I just ripped my paper though, so I can tell you there's going to be another one that's going to go right back there. That one really, really stuck. Since you had a busy day, what's for supper? The guys are fending for themselves. I think they're going to do, I think they have grandiose plans of making a frozen pizza or some such. I'm going to have a turkey burger. You like the white better? Okay, I'm going white. Put that here. Let's take this guy off. And go with the, oh, well, wait, now I just got a bunch of people saying blue. Oh, white, blue, white, blue, white, blue. All right, I'm going to go with white, but we could stick a blue one on the inside or something. All right, Sending Love. There we go. All right, awesome. And then on the inside of the card, oh dear, we've got more to do here, gang. Inside of the card, Sending Love. Big hugs for a good friend. How about that? And the last one's in here. Big hugs for a good friend. And we can do a little white, little blue embellishment on the inside. How about that? Then everybody's happy, right? All right, let's pop this on here. And Misty Moonlight. Anyone see a Misty Moonlight ink pad on this desk? Oh, here it is. Found it. It's right in front of my face. Okay. It looks super crooked to me, but I'm just going to have to stamp it straight, right? Oh, wait, we have a layer for that. Hang on. We have a layer for that. Big hugs for a good friend. Hang on, I got to put my head. I'm going to pull it towards me, you guys, because I feel like I'm going to get it crooked otherwise. This block is so dirty I couldn't hardly see through it. All right, big hugs for a good friend. Let's go ahead and stick this on right here. So I love this suite. It's called Peaceful Garden. It works for sympathy. It works for greetings. It works for Christmas. It's really a nice, versatile set. And paper. All right, let's go ahead and pop that on the inside. And then I will put the measurements on the screen again so you guys can get another. Mary is getting a lot of love in the comments here on YouTube. Mary is our YouTube moderator. She does a fantastic job of dropping in the dimensions. This piece right here is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and it's layered at a 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 inch piece of Misty Moonlight there. And there we have our card. I like it. So they're very different looking, but also exactly the same, right? So let's bring in our dimensions here. All right, here we go. All right, so somebody said they needed me to push them up a little bit, so I'm gonna, I hope that, let me know if that's visible for a screenshot right there. You know what, I'll just leave this other one out. I'll put it over to the side, and then if you can get that in, great. If not, no worries. All right. I really like that blue and white one. That's really pretty. You guys did it. You're great at helping me decide and helping make these cards. Fantastic. Now, we could have actually used these labels on the inside. That would have been fun. Why didn't I think of that? All right, there is, last one's your favorite. Yeah, lots of fun. Fun, fun, fun. Great way to use up those scraps. All right, friends, I'm going to flip the camera. Oh, we're 1 minute over. I better go eat dinner. Okay. Thank you for making and sending handmade cards, and thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you all so much, and you're doing amazing things. Keep making and sending those cards. It is making a difference. Thanks for all you do, and I'll be back Tuesday night at 7:30 Central Time with another creative video. Hope to see you then. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.